Hey everyone, I thought I'd just do a quick video today about some of the issues I've been having in my reef tank for the past few weeks. Most of them are getting fixed right now, so I think mostly the tank's back on track, but I'm just going to be talking about what happened and how I could have prevented it and what I should have done. Yeah. So the first major thing that happened was basically the temperature in California a couple of weeks ago was really high. So it got up to like around 100, and my house temperature got a little bit higher than normal, so it was around 82-ish, 83, and my tank temperature also got a bit higher. So usually I run my tank at 78 degrees, but because the house was a lot hotter, my temperature got up to around 81, and for some reason my heater just malfunctioned and it brought it up to like 83, 84-ish. So I don't know why, but I have a really cheap heater. Honestly, I should go get a better one, and I'm probably going to do that soon. And so don't cheap out on heaters because they're like one of the most important parts of your reef tank. So don't cheap out on a bad one. So that was the first thing, and basically I didn't really have too many bad things happen from that event. Maybe it stressed out the corals a little bit, but mostly everything was normal. It was good. But what I lost was all of my acros, which really sucks. But it's not that it's not as bad as the other stuff that also happened. So those acros, they were doing kind of poorly, and then they had just started recovering right before this temperature thing hit. So they were kind of just coming back. They were doing a bit better, and then this temperature swing thing happened, and then they just died. So I pulled them out already. You can see right here, this is where they were before. Now I just have this forest fire digitata, which by the way is coloring up really nice. When I got him, he was almost brown, but yeah. So they're gone basically. Yeah. So the next thing that basically happened was I basically went and bought a giant colony of torch online on eBay. It was a really good deal for a green tip long tentacle torch. It looked really nice. I thought it would be great. The pictures looked good. The communication was good. So I went out and bought this torch, and honestly the price was probably too good to be true. It was really low, which is why I bought it, and I've learned my lesson. You know, I'm not gonna if something's too good to be true, there's a very high chance that it is. So I bought the coral. It came in kind of, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great, to be honest. It was okay, and it looked okay for the first few days, and it just kind of started. It never really opened up. You know, it was doing like kind of bad, and then it brown jellied, which I think it just had that kind of infection thing from when he had it, which sucks. But it brown jellied, and the colony, the little bit you see right here, is 1/4 of the colony. So it was, I mean, that kind of shows the scale of it. It was a huge colony. And I pretty much, what I did was once it started brown gelling, I'd cut off one head, it had like basically 4 branch formations, and then this is the only one left. So I'd cut off one of them, and I'd cut off another one, and in the end I just had the single one left. And then I was just like, you know what? There's only one way to stop it. And I thought about throwing this this one piece I had left away. I was just like, you know what? It's not worth it. It's gonna spread. And then I was like, okay, you know what? Let's try to save it. This one little part of it looks pretty good. So I glued the whole thing shut. All of the exposed tissue, and I removed as much of the brown jelly as I could. Closed off the exposed tissue. You know, just tried to stop it, and it worked. And the reason I did this is because I've done it in the past, and it's worked for me in the past. So maybe I'll make a video on trying to cure brown jelly. It's never gonna 100% work, but it at least gives it a chance. So basically, long story short, what happened was this one little piece, one head it survived. You know, it did good, and it's doing good. And this was about a little over 2 weeks ago. So I think I'm in the clear, and this one little head is gonna come back. But the problem was the brown jelly is basically like an infection. It's a bacterial infection. So it kind of spread to some other corals. The first culprit was this little chalice acan I had. It was a green and purple acan. And I didn't really value that piece that much. It was kind of on the sand. I think it was getting, like, it didn't like being on sand that much. And I hadn't moved it. And it sort of just contracted the brown jelly, and it was on its way out, and it had a couple heads left. I was like, you know what, let's see if I can save it. I threw it in my fish quarantine tank, and then it just kind of perished. And I wasn't too disappointed about that. I was like, okay, the acan was right underneath the where the torch was. So I was like, you know what, maybe that's why. And then the infection spread to my rainbow chalice. and that was like on the other side of the tank, and that really stressed me out because that was an expensive piece of coral, and I was not happy about it. But I was like accepting it. I was like, you know what, I made a mistake buying this torch, and this is what I get for it. I lost my rainbow chalice, which was really nice coral. It was starting to do good, but unfortunately I lost that piece as well, which sucks. But I wasn't really as attached to that piece as I was the next piece. So the next one I lost was my humongous mummy-eye chalice. It was like 8 inches, 6, 8 inches wide. I mean, long and like 4 inches wide. It was really nice, bright green, and it was, I don't know, that was even more disappointing. So essentially what happened is I had moved it to the center of the tank a couple of months ago, and then it started browning out. But I thought it was just like a flow thing. It'd recover, and it was still kind of browning out. It was not like great. And then the brown jelly, I think the browning and the brown jelly has some correlation, because if it was healthy, then I don't think the brown jelly would have affected it. But since it was kind of stressed out and it was starting to brown out a bit, and the brown jelly hit, and I basically took out most of the colony. So I had one giant frag of it, and that was like 8 eyes, and that one died first. You know, I just thought really nothing of it. I was like, maybe it's just, I don't know. That frag was doing okay. It didn't brown out, but it was a kind of So it got the infection, which sucked, but I wasn't too worried about it because I had this giant colony left, and I was like, you know what, it's okay. I can just cut another frag off if I want. And then it spread to the giant colony, which was even worse. And it sort of started spreading, and I tried to stop it. Like, I glued some of the colony where the brown jelly infection was, and I tried like iodine dipping, and that didn't work. And it just keeps spreading. So at this point, I have decided that it's not worth it to risk the whole tank full, my whole tank that has a ton of LPS for this one chalice frag, even though I really like that one chalice. So what I basically did was I just cut one little bit from all the way from the other side of the colony where the brown jelly wasn't touching it. And I decided to throw the chalice into my fish quarantine tank. And by the way, I got a new fish, so check out the next video if you guys want to see that. So it's a really cool fish. I've been looking for it forever. So yeah. Yeah, so I basically just kept this one little piece of chalice, and then I threw the big colony into the fish tank, and hopefully it doesn't brown jelly there, but I'm not holding my breath. Like, it's been a couple of days since I put it in there, and it hasn't spread that much, but it doesn't look great, to be honest. So we'll see how it does. It's probably gonna be gone, but hopefully this one little frag right here stays alive. But other than that, the brown jelly hasn't spread to anything else, which is great, but it sucks that it spread to all those corals. So long story short, basically just don't go out and buy something that is too good to be true. And there's probably an issue with it. Try not to get brown jelly in your tank, because it will spread, it will kill stuff. It's just not good for your tank. It stresses you out a lot, and there's not really anything you can do to stop it. Like, there's a very low chance of success when you're trying to prevent it. I mean, cure it once it already started. Preventing it is pretty easy, but curing it, it's not the easiest thing in the world. But other than that, my tank's doing fine. I mean, most of the stuff looks good. I actually got a few new additions. I brought some fish into the store. I had some credit. I was like, and he had some nice acans and clam and stuff. So I picked them up. So yeah, mostly the tank's doing great, except for a couple of issues here and there. But those are just the kind of bumps along the road. I think eventually it'll do better. I still have my algae problem, which is annoying, but it's going to get a bit worse before it gets better. I have most of the bubble algae is kind of gone. The vibrant has been working, so most of the bubble algae is starting to die. The barops is also starting to die, but the turf algae that I have, that's just really annoying. It won't go away. I've been manually removing it. I've been trying everything. I don't know what's going to do it. I have to get some tang or fox face or something that's just going to munch it all day. So hopefully that works. Yeah, I also added those Bergia nudibranchs. So I had them in this little an enemy box. They sort of just escaped and they got into the tank. I was kind of scared of that because I have a chorus wrasse and a leopard wrasse, and I thought they would just hunt them and just eat them away, but luckily they survived. They've been working on my Aptasia. I don't have as many left. They've just been slowly disappearing. I just saw the Bergia yesterday, so, And he's huge. I bought him when they were really tiny. They were like 1/4 of an inch. Now he's a good like 1.5 inches, which is great. So he's clearly been doing good. Hopefully I get some more because I still have some Aptasia everywhere. Hopefully he cleans it all up. Yeah. So that's basically like a little update on my tank. I'll make another update for the fish I bought and the corals I got and the clam and the anemone. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. Comment below if you guys have any questions. Thank you for watching.